So I think if the goal of Tesla is to be like Prius, then make a Prius. That's the $25,000 car. But now Model Y is like a Prius. And what's happened is it's cheapened the value. And that's why my wife's like, I want a Rivian. Everybody's got a Model Y. We live in the Palisades. My wife's like, I want a Rivian. And I'm like, I get it. It's a beautiful car. It's wonderful. It's differentiated. But when your Uber drivers are all pulling up in Model Ys now, you're like, I drive an Uber. Yeah. And that's part of the problem of cheapening the brand. If they cheapen the brand, see, most people think of Tesla as a luxury brand, and brands work very hard to be considered luxury brands. And then you get a premium for
Mercedes,
this. This is Louis Vuitton, right? And so, like, in my mind, now they're bringing down the brand, but by cheapening the brand, they've lost value for all the current owners. And I don't think everybody's figured it out. If there's 4 million Teslas on the road, we've all lost $5,000 or $10,000. You're talking $20 billion of lost money because of all this stuff. So that's the part I think that bothers me the most with this strategy. Is none of it's to the benefit of Tesla owners or shareholders. Okay, and it's only because the owner, CEO of the company doesn't really have a strategy, to be honest, to sell these cars. Except lower the price. And then he says, well, it makes it more affordable to more people, blah, 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 blah. Then make the $25,000 car.
Yeah, I would say that the strategy that Tesla does is like becoming the VW of EVs, actually.
Really
and yeah, I would say that in the short and medium term, it's not a good strategy, like you said, in the sense that the value depreciates for the customer. It's not customer friendly in that sense. Overall, in the long term, maybe it can be fruitful that they push the industry forward to produce more. But I get your point. For the summary, maybe for the end of the episode, give us maybe a little outlook here. I know we have this two baselines that Tesla itself, the product itself is superb. We have it should be way higher in price, like you said.
The company and the stock, right?
Yeah, but we have the layer of the political side, the fight for free speech that's going on there on the platform. And that also means to have radical people on the platform again, since Elon's opinion on social media is that it should reflect the whole society in the sense that we should move in the context of our laws and don't push it further away of the laws.
It's all fine until people start dying. But when these people incite violence and then the violence happens, then it'll be his fault. And then the internet companies say, we're protected under this law. So, it's just a matter of time till that happens. The Tesla was already threatened once. Elon's saying things online. There's no questions. Extremists are targeting him and that's put pretty big pall over the whole situation. Now, I want to give some positive and some realistic ideas. So Tesla, the company, is doing great in my mind. Cybertruck's out. Technology, full self-driving is pretty good. It could be solved if they really tried, I think. Model Y has become one of the best-selling cars in history. The Model 3 refresh looks great. They need to get it out in the United States. They need a Model Y refresh. Will solve all their problems. Just make the Model Y like a little Model X, like what they did with the Model 3. It's now a little Model S. That's what it is. They moved the tech down. That's fine. That's what you should do. Move the tech downstream, put the plaid tech in the Model 3, put the
Make a plaid Model 3. Please.
No, it's the tech. It now has the same technology of the plaid in the Model 3. And now you do the same thing with the Model X. You refresh it. So there's a reason to buy one, right? Okay. You tell everybody that this is the last of price cuts. You tell everybody there will not be another price cut. You just make that clear. And you do not cut prices. And then what you do is you have to have a focus strategy to build your brand and sales if we're going to sell 2.5 million vehicles next year or 3 million vehicles the year after, because I agree with you 100%. It's one thing to sell 1 or 2 million vehicles a year. To sell 20, you have to be doing major advertising. Absolutely. And you have to have multiple models. Okay.
Or multiple halo effects. We need more Cybertrucks.
You got to have a $25,000 car because that's going to sell 5 million. Yeah. You got to have your threes and your Ys, that's another 3-5 million, So like when you start doing the math, they have a lot of work to do. That's the upside though, is there's so much of it. There's so much upside if they're focused, right? But stocks move based off earnings and valuations are determined based off what that perception of that company is. So when 2 years ago, when we were at 400, The expectation was $4 of earnings in 22 and 100 times earnings. We're the best company ever. Okay, that's what 100 times earnings is, right? We're doubling. That's what 100 times earnings. What we got was none of those numbers. So now we look forward. So what should Tesla be doing? Well, right now the estimates are for $4 again. Now the PE is 60, which is still very high. So we're at 240. We got $4 of expected earning. We got 60 PE. Okay, now in comparison, NVIDIA is expected to earn $18, and it's trading at 25 times that number right now. And it's one of the most impactful hardware companies in modern time. It's my second largest position. So when you start thinking about it, you're like, why is Tesla trading at 60 times earnings? Microsoft's at 35 times earnings. Google's at 20 times earnings. Apple's at 30. But maybe Tesla's mature now. Maybe the CEO's not focused. So this is the negative case scenario. This is what this Tony Saganucci just said. Saganacci, or whatever his name is. He says, oh, well, maybe Tesla doesn't earn $4. Maybe they're back to $3. And maybe we give it 50 times $3 or 60 times $3. And now you're at 180. Maybe it's $4 and we give them 40 times $4. Now it's 160. You see what I'm saying? So if multiple compression happens with Tesla because investors perceive the company's mature with an unfocused CEO, this stock is going nowhere, okay? Unless earnings go to $5. Yeah. But if Elon can show the markets, and because the company's delivering, it's not like the company's doing anything bad. If Elon can show and build confidence in institutional investors of his focus in solving full self-driving, getting Cybertruck scaled, maybe it deserves the 60 multiple, and maybe they can get to $5 earnings, and now we're looking at $300 stock, and you got some upside here. But it's 100% related on Elon here. If he starts selling stock and he's unfocused, we're not going to make any money. If he's focused, doesn't sell stock, and really gets production up on cyber and gets full self-driving going in the 20, we're fine. We're fine. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And this is why I can sit around on my thumbs and not say anything, right? Or I go on TV and I say what I'm going to say, whether people like it or not, because it's for the benefit of Tesla. It's not for the benefit of Elon. It's for the benefit of Tesla. And I think that's where people get confused. Okay, Elon's not my friend. We don't go out for drinks. He's never, bought me a slice of pizza or anything. Okay, he's a CEO. I have tremendous respect for his accomplishments, but he works for Tesla, and all I care about is Tesla and Tesla's success. And if people don't understand that or don't buy it, that's fine. But that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting what you said. All the things make sense from the investing side here. What impact does that have, the sentiment on your own fund, of course? That would also interest me.
Well, it's a top 5 position for me. It's still our largest position within our firm as a stock. Even though we've trimmed some of it down, we still so much, and we
spread out risk. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in my mind, we went from an extremely overweight Tesla. Like for a lot of clients, it was higher than 10% allocation. Like people had made a lot of money. So we're up 100 times our Tesla investment. So, if a client put in $5,000, it's worth $500,000 in that client account. So for me to trim 100,000 out of that, it's like nothing, because the clients made so much freaking money we've made so much money on Tesla. It's hundreds of millions of dollars. So I can sell Tesla till the cows come home, and it's still like just chipping away at this massive position that we have. So firm-wide, it's about 4% of our overall assets as an entire firm. We manage about $2.5 billion today. Our position is about $100 million. So each client we have to look at. I think where it is in my fund right now, about 5.5% allocation is where it should be, and that's why it's there. Our largest allocation right now is about 7.5 to 8% to NVIDIA, Microsoft, and MGM Resorts. And Tesla's right behind there with Apple and Google. So our top 5 tech holdings in GK and in my firm, in my fund, it's Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, Google. So those are core 5. And that's not going to change. I mean, I still think Tesla is way more innovative than all those companies anyways. For me, it's just, my God, it's just like...
Yeah, and you managing a fund, which is, I can assume, very difficult. You have to be very focused as well, be there, out there and figure out what's happening. Of course, you don't want chaos, actually. And this thing, all the controversies stir up chaos. And that's, of course, something that no one wants.
We manage money in scale. So like I have 12,000 client families we manage. About almost 50 employees. We're an accounting firm as well. Yes. So most days nobody calls me. Clients are fine. They might send a few emails a day.
Okay.
You know, but most people don't call anymore. You know, it's like emails or texts or whatever.
Yeah.
And what happens is when he does these things, I'll start getting not only just messages from clients, but all the reporters start calling and emailing too. And it's like Sunday morning, and I've got clients furious about Alex Jones, and then the New York Times is calling, and the Wall Street Journal is calling. And I'm like, what the fuck did he do? It's Sunday. I don't want to deal with this at all. I'm like watching soccer with my kid, you know? Yeah. And this is the problem, is it's almost every day. It's something, and clients call, and it distracts our teams, and we have to, like, people hate them, you know, and then we end up having to sell stock for people, or people, you know, or we have to talk them out of doing stupid stuff just because of Elon. You know,
emotional
it's just
stuff.
It's just not fun. Versus, hey, we launched a spaceship, or hey, got a new Cybertruck. Yeah. See, the only thing people should be talking about right now across the entire media space is the Cybertruck. And that's not what they're talking about.
That's true.
The only video I saw was the Cybertruck being towed out of a hole from a Ford, which somehow got posted last night. You know, and I'm like, where's all the good Cybertruck videos?
Yeah, I get what you mean. This overshadows. The controversies always overshadow the product, and this could be a lot of advertising, free advertising.
Cyber telling everybody to fuck themselves the day before.
Maybe you should be the advisor here at Tesla, maybe to be the PR department or the propaganda department.
I've advised them for years. I've advised Elon for years. And for the most part, they've taken my advice up until he bought Twitter. And since they bought Twitter, they don't want. But that's not true. Everybody at Tesla loves what I'm saying, and they're all scared to tell Elon. That's what it is. You live in fear if you work for Elon. See, I don't work for him. I don't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah.
I could say the same thing back to him. Go fuck yourself, Elon. Yes. What are you going to do to me? You know, he shut off my Starlink. I don't know. Maybe drive my car into a wall. Shit, maybe I should take that back.
I wouldn't assume so, but
I know. He's gonna shut off.
I get you. It's a little joke, but
okay. He might make the doors not open or something.
Yeah.